on and talk some astrology. I feel like let's clear the energy around a lot of messages. The guides are wanting specifically to talk about Neptune and the shadow, the potential shadow that can be by way of Neptune. I want to grab the iPad so we can look at the ephemeris. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, why is Neptune so important? Because Neptune is one of those archetypes that it really, it can be a very powerful energy in terms of transcendence and in terms of, you know, coming from that place of oneness with the universe and unity consciousness and the power that can be had by way of being, you know, let's say so-called open minded in that space, enough to say that I know everything is connected, there's a reason for everything, I appreciate all that there is, you know, but that can be a very fine line as well, right? We can say, well, that's where we may also lose sight of who we are right now in this dimension. And so those who have a lot of Neptune naturally in the chart, they can sort of have the tendency to lose themselves. It can be happen. And so let's talk a little bit about Neptune and Pisces specifically, those who have a lot of Pisces, and please feel free to share in the chat with others, you know, your experience with this energy. Are you a Pisces sun sign, moon sign, Venus, Mars, rising? And feel free to share with others in the chat your personal experience with this, because anybody who's got a lot of Pisces, okay, and it really does depend on where the Pisces is in your chart, that can be where you can create magic, where you are just like so powerful. I'm hearing that again. Truly, where you're, you know, interestingly, and that's the thing, we talk about this all the time, is Pisces is, and guides want to reiterate this, Pisces is not a weak energy, but it is where it's about you and you having the boundaries and you having the confidence with that energy to say, I see, but then I also act on that. I make the decision that I know is in accordance with my higher self, and not just what I, you know, am empathic to, because as a Pisces, you can really feel a lot, but you have to keep sight of the fact that you still, you know, you also exist as you. So, guys, let's jump in and see here. Where is Pisces in everyone's chart here in the chat? Let's take a look here. So boundaries is a big thing. Now, as I was meditating, I'm seeing here from guides that there is a little bit of a warning when it comes to, that concept of power and how much we have come along when it comes to finding that space of boundaries. Now, with 3 planets in Pisces right now, I mean, it feels a little floaty. Oh, well, no wonder, the sun is conjunct Neptune today. That's what's going on. Okay. So we talked about this actually yesterday, and we talked about it, so guides are like, we have to remember this is actually happening, because that's the thing about Neptune is, like, you can really, so let's talk about it from this vantage point. The shadow of Neptune is, you know, it can be illusory. So people who, let's say, are, like, really good at, like, lying and whatnot, or so-called supposedly, okay, good, you know, and we can say that can have different manifestations, like people, let's say, who are even really good at acting, okay, they usually have a lot of Neptune in their chart. And feel free to comment, chat here, okay, if you have had personal kind of experiences that are relating to this archetype of Pisces, or the play of Neptune in the chart. If you have Neptune, let's say, conjunct any one of your planets, the sun, moon, hopefully you're in the light with that energy. I mean, really, with every energy, but the few planets that I would be really careful with is Neptune and Jupiter. If someone is not in the higher vibration of their Pluto, we said Jupiter, didn't we? Well, Jupiter is also the ruler of Pisces, so Spirit wants the emphasis on both Jupiter and Neptune here, but Neptune and Pluto. If someone is not in the higher, not necessarily in the higher vibration of their Pluto, if they're not in that higher vibration, then it's going to be pretty uncomfortable to be around that person over time. Give me a second, guys, really quickly, and we're going to get further into it. This is also going to die, so let's plug it in. So the thing about Neptune is that we can really get very, very drawn out to sea. Super, super, like, I'm hearing confused. We can feel random. So what I want to do is actually draw this out, but I do need to plug the iPad in because it's about to do that thing called die. All right. Let's get it. Now, the challenging part with Neptune is that it's like all over the place. It can really, really be all over the place, and it's hard to know when Neptune is at play. That's the thing, and if anything, the trouble is not you not knowing or not realizing, it's the denial. Okay, it's like, that's the issue sometimes. What do they call it? Where, like, you like to be a victim or something like this. The name is eluding me. It's clear around, yeah, but that's the energy we're talking about, like that very, very thing of knowing, but then even romanticizing that, like, what is it, Stockholm Syndrome? Like, oh yeah, it's like all good, it's all perfectly attractive. Yeah, this whole imbalance situation we got, that's Pisces. That is Neptune in shadow. So it's important to be aware with you know, on, and that's where even things like addictions can really take on, and, you know, where you're not seeing it and not wanting to get, you know, how do we say, so-called assistance in that space. That is like really the Neptune shadow, if it's to the point where, yeah, but let's get further. Yeah, it's the energy is like all over the place. It's all over the place. But if you imagine it, I want to draw it like, so Neptune literally rules water, right? It rules it rules it rules the element of water in the ocean. So this is wonderful. So, oh, thank you so much, you guys, for your moderating. Thank you so much, Mimi. So, yeah, I was like practically wondering when they're gonna be heading in. So, the Neptune shadow. Now, here's the thing. We've made a lot of progress. So Spirit is saying, you know, remember what got you to the point of that balance, because Neptune can really creep in. And so there's a little bit of this moment. Okay, there's so many messages at once. So Spirit is saying that, okay, the way in which you may ultimately sort of, how do we say, it's a sabotaging energy. So, but the way it comes in can be really gradual, to the point where you don't realize it and neither do others necessarily. And especially if that is a shadow reflection of Neptune, then you may be taking on the projected imbalance of someone else's Neptune. Let's clear in the heart chakra, and that's where it gets real dangerous. Like, if you and another person have a lot of Neptune in your chart and shadow, then, I mean, yeah, it's like, then you're both kind of like in illusion world, and that's, yeah. So personally, like, I feel like people who have a lot of Neptune or are operating in the shadow of Neptune could really do well with grounding, or being in, you know, even activities that call upon the grounded energy space and getting back into the physical body, especially. I personally don't recommend, you know, doing anything like, you know, with hallucinogenics, if you got a lot of Neptune in the chart naturally, and so on. But yeah, because it can really take you outside of, but you got to make your decision, and you consult your intuition and also your, your personal practitioner. So, okay. Yeah, eating can ground you, definitely. Coming back into the physical body, whatever that means, you know, because you can use different tactics to do that, specifically having foods that are even a little denser, okay, in vibration, can, if you are seriously feeling ungrounded. Yeah. Who is it? Carl Sagan? Is that him? He wrote a book and he was writing about this. He said, if you're in a dangerous space with, you know, feeling like you're going way out of the zone, you need to eat like some kind of meat. So that's like the quickest way to ground. But unfortunately, the issue is, like, sometimes you are so ungrounded that you don't even realize that you need to get ground. So now that's where the vulnerable energies, okay, you can really take on a lot of energies when you're not grounded, without having those boundaries. And so you want to make sure that, let's say, if you are doing something, even meditation can unground you. If you're doing that, you want to be in control of that process. You know, so, right. Rather than, you know, all of a sudden feeling, you know, and then you're pulling on other people's energy that you just don't even know. I'm hearing that. Seriously? Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, with Neptune, is that, in the danger of Neptune, is that something can seem very attractive as well, when it's really actually not. Like, so the example would be, you know, Neptune rules, kind of like the very attractive, glittery sort of, even, let's say, movies. It rules movies, yeah, cinematography, like, it's similar to Venus, but different. Neptune can be more dangerous in the sense of, like, you really don't see that energy, you feel it, because it is something more even on the astral realms, okay, like, where you can be subject to astral projection and picking up on astral energies. Whereas Venus is more the 3D sort of like persuasion, the 3D sort of like attraction, the 3D, the physical, the actual senses, whereas Neptune is more like the metaphorical. You know, let's clear it around. Someone who really does a great segment on this is Jewel Mayberry. She is an astrologer. So if you want to learn more about Neptune, yeah, but anyways, it's important, really important, to sort of know who is your energy field, and the one way that you can do that is to ground. You need to be aware of who exactly is interacting with you on astral. That's the difficulty when we're talking about this particular energy space, because yeah, it's easier to say, like, okay, Mark is like really taking a lot of my time and he's seriously like trying to drain me, and like every time I'm talking to him, okay, it's like I feel like he's dragging on, like, you know, my sense of self-worth. Okay, that is more of a this is a different discussion. The Neptune energy is way more coercive and in a very indirect way of, like, okay, for some of you, like, Mark's entity is hooking onto my aura. I mean, that, yeah, this is something very, very different. Spirit is wanting to make the distinction of, you may not realize, especially if you're not grounded, then you are like taking on someone's energy, but not in a literal way. It's not like you're talking to Mark and that's happening. That's not where necessarily the imbalance is at. So the how do we say, even the in a way, the hijacking is at. So the challenge with Neptune, and the thing about even activities that are highly Neptunian in nature, such as or anything that, you know, makes you more susceptible or sensitive, like drinking, okay, again, hallucinogenics, even to a certain degree, meditation. You just really want to make sure that, you know, you are already in a grounded state and that you're in control of that process. So yeah, otherwise having too much energy in a particular chakra is not necessarily better. So let's go around now. What else? So Spirit is also suggesting to remain mindful of your habits, because when you have so much planetary energy in Neptune, which right now we have Neptune itself in Pisces, we have Jupiter here in Pisces, we have then the Sun in Pisces, Mercury in Pisces. We got a lot of Neptune. So the thing is, like, it's easy to forget what the fuck is going on. Yeah, and I've been talking to people, and so many people, they're like, I feel this weird lullaby energy where I'm literally just like not even aware of what's going on. I feel like I'm floating in ether. So let's clear it around on the left side. But yeah, so this is though I'm seeing as well, like by way of the influence, like you're picking up on, and we're going through a lot of the channeling is very, very all over the place right now, but take it as you will. I'm getting a lot of visions here. I'm not forgetting. I'm not like, you know, I want to finish that thought, but I'm seeing that, yeah, you're going to be picking up on a lot of projected energies here, okay? A lot of people here are going through a lot on astral. So this is the last sign in the zodiac. We're about to go head back into Aries. We are starting a new cycle. So there's a lot going on. It's almost like there's more noise, but where we don't hear it, if that makes sense. It's a wonderful time. It's a very powerful time, but it can also be, yeah. Let's clear it down the left side of the body again. Some of you do have someone here who's just hooking on to you. They're not letting you go. I hear this. Can we have further insights here, Spirit? Maybe we'll do some channeled writing. Maybe we'll do some channeled writing. I'm feeling kind of guided to do something here with the pen. I don't know what that's about, but and apparently it's red. But yeah, some of you, I'm hearing say something about maybe communication, like actually speaking. Maybe you need to communicate something very particular. Maybe you need to come out and actually say it rather than like sort of feel it. And that's the other thing with Spirit. It's kind of like, when it comes to Neptune, okay, with Spirit, maybe you're working with Spirit on something, but you know, you can tap into something, know, and not do something about it. And maybe Spirit's saying right now, you want to kind of like maybe even research the ways in which you can bridge that gap between like, I'm understanding what's going on here, even on an energetic level, but I'm not doing something about it. For some of you though, I see someone here is in your aura. Let's clear it. Can we get further insights on this, Spirit? I'm seeing the number 5 here. That makes me think of Leo. So it can literally be possibly Leo. This is solar energy as well. This is fire energy. Somebody with a lot of Leo, fire, something with the sun. I'm hearing Virgo. This is kind of cool. I like typing the channel messages. This is 6th house. This is technically Earth energy, but Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Some of you have someone on your aura. Okay, we need more clues as to this. I'm seeing the color black. I'm hearing that, black. Maybe it's the color of their car. I'm hearing that, black. For some of you, I'm hearing Pontiac. Okay, that's so specific. That's clear. I'm hearing black purse as well. Maybe someone has a, I don't know, you take it as you will. That's clear. I'm hearing Virgo twice. They may have 2 placements in Virgo or a lot of Virgo. I'm also hearing Aries. For some of you, I'm seeing something is here related to travel. Maybe someone is a traveler, or they travel a lot, or they're traveling soon. I hear Virgo again. So for some of you, okay, now the message is becoming clear. This is a very particular message for someone, it seems. There's someone here who's like very much focused on you, like financially. I'm hearing that as well. I'm hearing he won't leave me alone. I'm hearing that. Okay. Okay, for some of you, there is someone here, maybe like they're really messing with your energy field. I'm even seeing that. I'm hearing okay. That makes me think of Oklahoma. I'm hearing the word open. So it seems like there's a focus on action here. Spirit wants you to maybe take action in a certain direction. Okay, let's clear it. What are we talking about here, Spirit, further? For some of you, I'm hearing letter. So there is something about communication. Yeah, I'm hearing start. Maybe start even drawing up a plan when it comes to addressing something here. So again, we're seeing a few clues here. Number 5, the number 5, Virgo, the color black, Aries, travel. I'm again seeing here like, oh, okay, but I specifically was hearing Oklahoma. This could be so specific for someone, but take it as you will. I'm seeing open, letter, and start. So for some of you, like there is someone here from your past. I'm hearing the number 46 and the letter L. I'm hearing Leo again. And I'm hearing okay. I think there's someone here who wants to discuss something with you, but they're not doing it. For some of you, this person is like, they're dragging on your aura possibly. Spirit, what do we want to know about you? I feel like you're aware of this person. Let's clear the energy around. Hold on. This is so weird. I've never done this, but I'm going to just go with the flow. So I feel like Spirit wants to write this out. So it's almost like dowsing, but with a pen. So let's do here. Yes and no. So Spirit, is this something that is like an energy? Is this a more of a south node energy? Or is this more of a north node energy? I'm seeing the number 11 here. So those of you, because it may be different for some people, there could be a focus on the number 11. If there's a focus on the number 11, I'm getting that it's not necessarily a negative thing. If this is South Node Spirit, I'm seeing the letter W, K, X, L, O, 7, and 0. Okay, for some of you do have someone here who's waiting for you. I've never done a written channeling, but yeah, take it as you will. It's very interesting, okay? Maybe I'll like watch this over and see what's what, but yeah, sometimes in the moment it seems abstract, but it's okay. So anyways, someone is waiting on you. So, okay, now what is to do with this conversation? This is very specific for someone again, and then we're gonna get back to the general messages. This person is older for some of you. For some of you, this is someone older. For some of you, they're acting. I'm hearing that as well. For some of you, there's something about a letter, something written. So what is the advice, Spirit, to you? As the querent, if this is your particular case, if it's just moving based on like the south node. I'm hearing hold off. Okay. Heard you loud and clear, Spirit, right there. Yep. For some of you, wow. This is drama. I'm hearing that from Spirit. Hold off. Could we have a date as to when maybe it might be favorable for them to get back into this? I'm seeing something about the number 4 here. Something about the letter J. For a small number of you, take it as you will, but I'm hearing the 4th of July. Could be something of a message. I'm seeing the number 8. For some of you too. I'm seeing the letter P here. I'm hearing keep things private. For some of you, I'm seeing that it's not favorable to interact with this person right now. For some of you here. Okay, again, the letters and the numbers related to this is 70WKXLO. All right. Now, if it's not so, let's say, I'm seeing the letter 2 and P. This came through here on this end here, yeah? So maybe there is something here. Interesting. Spirit is giving me a vision. It really depends on how you choose to address this at the end of the day, whatever this conversation is. Spirit is saying that you can go 2 ways about this. It may even be a negotiation for some of you, or someone is trying to negotiate with you something. And the key is to move through this. I feel for some of you, this is a test, the energy, actually. I feel this is someone who really wants you to do something. Okay, so let's get further here. What is Spirit's advice? I feel this is something that you need to stand for as well, like to be very proud of and to be independent with. I hear that as well. I'm hearing Lexa. It could be a very particular message. I'm hearing assets and funding. Okay, some of you, this is about your talent. And there's a question, maybe someone here wants to partner up with you. Yeah, this is like, you'll know what this is. For some of you, this is like a huge talk actually for you. And Spirit is, yeah, I'm hearing museum. It could be a metaphor. I'm hearing advantage. I'm hearing problems. So there's something you want to research more. Like, definitely don't jump into this. I'm hearing that. But Spirit is saying communicate, like continue to open the discussion. For some of you, there's a contract involved. Someone is wanting you to like get involved in something, but you don't know how you really feel about that. So say that. I'm hearing that maybe, but you always have to take it as you will. For some of you, there is maybe something here like, yeah, even on astral, like someone is kind of just wanting you to get involved in something. They're definitely pulling on your aura and your energy field. This is for some. So it's about the boundaries on astral. If you know where you stand with this person and it's a huge no, yeah. But if you are open to like sort of, you know, negotiating, then I would just sort of like kind of have boundaries with the way that you're negotiating whatever this is, or with the way that you're having this conversation. For some of you, this person finds you very attractive and that's good for them, but it's like, it's not working for you in the context right now, possibly. For some of you, this is an ex. I see that, someone who's been into you in the past. Okay, so anything else here, Spirit? I feel like we're definitely going to be tested here with whatever we've had boundaries with. In a way of saying, like, the things that we've been doing good, well, you know, working with our higher self and really making progress and getting places with that and really pushing and making moves. Okay, that's what's tested right now. So, but it's in a way that it's just like so uncomfortable and indirect, possibly for some. Let's clear it. Now, out of curiosity, do you feel like, is this a helpful message? Is there something here that, oh, interesting. Okay. I keep hearing Leo. I'm hearing he wants you to leave his car. I don't know what that's about. In the lot for him. I don't know what that's about, guys. That could be a metaphor though. Like, some of you, this is something that's just like, it's over with. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, someone wants access with your key. That could be a metaphor as well, like on astral. Because listen, guys, the thing right now, I feel like a lot of what's going on right now, this is not like literal. A lot of this is like, and that's hence the part of it that's so challenging, can be so challenging and confusing, is that we don't actually see it. We're not seeing it. The risk, I'm hearing that as well, to losing a sense of boundaries. So I'm hearing vision. I'm hearing K, the letter K. And I'm hearing M. Some of you, there is someone here on the energy plane, not understanding that you kind of have already told them that it's sort of like so-called over. Okay, they're not respecting your boundaries. Let's clear the energy. We're going to get into this most likely in a Virgo full moon reading that we're going to do. I feel like we got a lot of so-called shit coming up. Yeah, people from the past, but it's more like we're going to be seeing it from another vantage point. We've already done a lot of ascending work here in terms of from the light work perspective. Okay, we've worked through a lot of karma here. And we're not looking back, but we're definitely looking out the window, okay, on the plane. Yeah, and we're observing, like, what's going on. So it's important to remember that that's where we're at. our perspective and the vantage point from which we're observing what, you know, is going down, because it's a karmic time. I mean, yeah, it's not that it's not karmic. The Pisces energy here is the 12th sign, moving right into that next sign here pretty soon in April. Even the end of March, but really getting to the thick of Aries season in April, we're really about to turn a page. So things are getting heavy. Things that we're going to be seeing how people really are, okay, yeah, sort of playing their game. I'm hearing that, and winning or not winning at that with themselves. Like, in other words, like, things will become obvious, exposed even. Yeah, definitely exposed, where I almost see it as like you're watching someone kind of realize that you're not playing along anymore. I'm hearing that, but even like on an energetic level. So, yeah, I'm seeing that big time for some of you. Like, you're gonna even maybe get word of something, you're gonna hear something, you're gonna see something, especially with all the energies as well still in Aquarius, with the Sun and Mercury. Actually, Venus and Mars. Yeah, you guys, oh, no. You have someone here who definitely is, like, watching you. They're aware of you. For some of you, like, they were definitely, like, trying to mess with you, and I'm hearing, fuck off. Like, honestly, they're not in the light, and they're upset. They're stomping their heels on us. They want to be back in your world with you. So let's clear it. I feel like Spirit is saying, like, listen, you're already so far gone. Like, you're not, they are realizing you're not coming back for them, okay? Yeah. Okay, yeah, they're very immature for something. This is someone, anyways. So, but the thing about the Pisces season is that they're going to be moving through that space energetically. Yeah. Oh gosh. You know who this is? B. So, they're realizing that now, like, on an energy plane. So they're feeling the karma. They're going to feel how karmic it is that you're no longer calling them back on an energetic level the way that maybe you were in the past. And so it's not your problem. Like, you're not involved, okay, with that directly, but you're, like, kind of, like, I see you on the plane with, like, popcorn. You're, like, looking out the window, like, yeah, he's not looking so happy these days. I'm hearing that. Like, it's kind of like, it's obvious. It's obvious. So, it's important to remain grounded, though, really, really, during this time. Let's pull up the ephemeris again. Yeah. So there's a little bit of a turbulent energy right now here with the moon in Leo, as we have the sun, Leo's ruler, conjuncting Neptune. The sun, you know, being in Pisces and, like, conjuncting the ruler of Pisces, Neptune, like, with Leo and the moon, we mentioned this, like, let's clear it. Yeah, the sun is not natural really in the water element. It's not so natural. Like, it's a little frustrating, we're not gonna lie. It's a little bit like of having a square-like energy. Yeah, it's not so comfortable, okay? And especially for people who have a lot of Leo, I'm hearing it in this way, or even your own energy of Leo can be at odds with that energy of Pisces in your chart right now. So, just something to keep in mind again. Okay, grounding advice, yes. Number one is you want to focus on the physical 3D body. If you're ever, like, feeling very ungrounded, you immediately want to focus on your actual physical body. Because the thing about Neptune is that it takes you outside of your physical vessel, right? That energy is how you tap into the other realms, other than what it is that you physically are in experience with in 3D. Hence the role of imagination that with Neptune, like how Neptune rules imagination and creativity and dreams and dreaming. It's like, it could be, yeah, very applicable at times, but then other times you're like, no, I need to be in my physical body right now. I'm not just here in 5D. So to do that, you need to get back in the 3D vessel to focus on everything related to that, which is eating, food, nourishing the body, focusing on the root chakra, grounding, literally, like, when it comes to that chakra energy. Let's clear the heart chakra. And simultaneously balancing by lessening the activity that you're doing when it comes to Neptune. So it only makes sense, like, you know, I mean, if you've got a hole in the gondola, right, and the water is pouring in, would you, like, you know, put your hand over the edge of the gondola and like take a bucket of water and start pouring it into the gondola. Like, no, like you would stop, like you know, maybe if like you had no hole in the gondola, a few splashes here and there, you're joking around with your friend, you're gonna splash some water. Yeah, so you see what I'm saying? Like, if you have something very particular, okay, that you realize is not working, then you want to look at everything that sort of mirrors that discussion. So let's give an example. Let's say that you're not feeling grounded, right? So yeah, the things that mirror or that sort of echo, okay, the conversation of activating more deeply the crown chakra, such as meditation even. Okay, sometimes meditation is not the right thing to do, for example. Maybe, and definitely, drinking, number one. I mean, if you're already dealing with something Neptune, it's in stages. Definitely, I would eradicate, okay, yeah, anything that from your diet for a period of time that over accentuates and activates your chakras where you're like, yeah, drinking opens your chakras real wide, not necessarily in a good way. It's because you're not consciously in that space. And it can just open you up to a host of different types of energies and entities and frequencies. So let's clear it around. Yeah, so number one is definitely, I wouldn't drink. I wouldn't do hallucinogenics. I would focus on things that sort of ground you and so-called sober you and bring you into the present physical dimension. Let's clear it. That doesn't mean do toxic things, but it just means like, you know, yeah. So it's all within a spectrum. Yeah, bring it back into the physical, the 3D, like not necessarily go eat donuts, okay? We're not talking like the lower the vibration. It's just, yeah, the scale of the vibration. It really, it's a, yeah, it depends. So, but for example, things like meat, okay, are generally more dense than things like chlorophyll. Okay, so you would probably want to have things that are color red, okay, related to the root chakra, foods related to the color red, okay, things that stimulate the physical body to be more sort of in the present, if that does make sense. Let's clear it. Yeah, so if you immediately, or if you're feeling that, immediately start focusing on these other things. And it can be very hard in the beginning because you're floating in the ether. It's like you're not aware. Like you need to bring it back down. So you have to sort of be that bigger person with yourself, energetically speaking, right? Where you're like, okay, I'm going to stop giving energy to, yeah. So now let's clear up to the upper chakra. Now, also, yes, the skin. Okay, so spirit is also encouraging, like, get in touch with, like, literally, like, touch your body. So, for example, like, tapping on your legs, okay? Tapping on your, what are HHC gummies? You mean THC? Is that what you meant? Personally, as someone who has a lot of Pisces, I naturally know I don't go near anything that has anything, like, but it, you know, always take it as you will, you know, always your decision. So, yeah, that's me personally. I mean, some people, they may not have like a so-called like problem with such things, but that's just me personally. Especially if you know you have a tendency to get really like, yeah. Okay. Now what else? Leg tapping. Yeah. So if you want to bring attention back to the root chakra, back to, yeah, the root chakra, lower chakras, and tap your legs down. Okay. That's another way you can ground. Obviously, different mechanisms. You can obviously also watch binaural beats. Such as this one. Root chakra, healing music, let go worries, anxiety, fear, chakra, meditation music, meditative mind. This is like one of many examples. So, yeah. See what works for you. You want to focus as well on the literal element of fire. Light some candles, maybe, you know, for example. Anything related to the element of heat. So yeah, heat, like literal heat. Taking a hot shower. Okay, so anyways, what else? Spirit is also saying, like, keep drinking water. You want to keep the flow. Because, yeah, with Neptune, you can get stagnant. So it's like, interestingly, you can be in such a flow on astral, be it whether you're meditating, but then that can turn into stagnation on the 3D. So that's the important thing. Let's draw this out. You have all planes that you exist through here, right? So you have the crown chakra. And then you have the third eye. Let's clear it. Throat. And then you have the heart chakra. And then you have the solar plexus. And then you have the sacral chakra. And then you have the root chakra. So, yeah, you'll always be responsible to maintain the balance of all of these energies. So even if you are getting very, 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 very strong here, I'm just sort of drawing this out, guys. It's so messy, but it is what it is. I'm just going to show you here. Let's say that you're really building out this crown chakra energy, okay? And you're really, really creating a huge moment of flow, and then it's starting to become kind of like, yeah, not really. Everything else is shrinking. I'm seeing that. This is for some possibly. Wow, it looks like a bee. Oh, how beautiful. Interesting. But yeah, I mean, it will never just be that you are your crown chakra. No pun intended. It's never going to be that. And the illusion sometimes can be that, wow, it's all about, this is the imbalance. So this can be when also that you have a stellium in the chart. Those of you who have 3 to 4 planets in a certain sign, you can get to that point where you totally lose sight of, you forget, like, shoot, there are other energies, like other elements that so that's where we at times feel imbalanced, unhappy, is when we get drawn into an element too far, too much, for too long. So definitely look at, yeah, anything else? Is this helpful, guys? Yes. So, and of course it's simplified, we got many chakras we have, but just, yeah. Oh, let's clear it. I'm seeing some dark energy here. Some of you do have someone here who is definitely, you got to clear this person. You got to clear their energy. Let's clear it. I'm hearing open. Okay, so for some of you, it's like you need to get the convo maybe rolling with that individual, or you need to kind of like keep it moving. Going back to that message earlier. Now, what else? Let's pull up the ephemeris. Now, we do as well have, okay, this is going to be big tomorrow, the sextile to the node. So this will be with the sun again. This is the second time we have the sun. Wow. Really preserve your energy. I'm hearing that, guys. Okay, because we're talking about the whole collective right now, right? These are general transits. The whole entire collective is experiencing, okay, interaction with the nodes, which speaks of karma. So, and we're talking about the sun. Wow, I'm seeing a focus on throat chakra here. It is a sextile, okay. But it's still karmic. So, yeah. What I'm getting is preserve your energy. Like, really, really understand, like, what is in your best. I hear that. What is in your light, and I personally would not get into conversations there tomorrow, into really big conversations. So guys, I think we're gonna take a break here, and we'll maybe jump into another video later. I have a few lives that pick a cards, and the full moon in Virgo, eventually we're gonna do that possibly. But yeah, I thought I'd just jump on, talk a bit about Neptune here. Hopefully it was helpful. And thanks, guys, for your support. We may do a bit of a further explanation here with this week upcoming on members. We'll chat about overall transits, and we'll see you possibly there. Bye, guys. Love